What's up guys, Ron Paridi here from Techno Buffalo, and at the end of last week we got the new HTC Vive in to give it a shot, try it out, and see what's up. So first off, obviously, was the setup and unboxing, and I gotta say, this is not a plug-and-play system. Andrew and Niven and Ralph were the three people who set it up Friday evening after work, and there was a lot of trouble they had setting it up. One sensor would sync up while the other would unsync, and then the same thing happened with remotes. There was a lot of troubleshooting. It took them about 3 hours total, so this is definitely not for your average consumer. Moving on, you're gonna have concerns about space. When we first set this up, we did it in our editing bay, which is a normal sized room with a couple tables and a TV, but you're gonna need more space than that, and the space is gonna have to be empty. You're gonna need about 5 to 15 feet of separation between both sensors, so we had to end up moving outside. And speaking of space, you're also gonna need to have your PC tethered, so just bear that in mind. You're gonna have to move your computer into the same room as your VR set. And it can't just be any old computer, you're gonna need a very high-end PC. Here are the specs required. And for Apple users, you are going to be out of luck because Steam VR is not yet available on Mac. Sorry. But the real question is, was it worth it after all this drama? And before I explain my experience, I gotta say, I was very skeptical before using the Vive because I've used some other VR headsets and the low quality build really ruins the experience. But this is what makes the Vive so different. There's very, very little light leak. It works extremely well. There's a little bit of blurring or on sort of the edges of your vision, but once you're in it, once you spend about 1 or 2 minutes, you really get immersed in the world. There's no real way to explain it, it's just something you have to feel for yourself. I got to try out a variety of games, from being in an office and making VR coffee to sort of flying through space and creating many moons and then heating them up and burning them, as well as saw some metal ribs off. I think I'll keep my slicing and cutting skills to the timeline, not necessarily someone's organs. It didn't go so well. The best thing I can probably say about using the Vive is that it's built and designed so well that after probably 10 minutes, 5 minutes, even less maybe, of using it, you just forget that it's there. You just sort of blend into the experience. The remotes, the tracking, it's all so fluid. The screen looks super sharp for the most part, especially compared to other VR headsets. It's really a pleasurable experience. And probably the biggest highlight for HTC here that really differentiates them from someone like Oculus, who uses the Xbox controller, they use 2 hand remotes, and I love this. Where an Xbox controller might be a little more intuitive for traditional gamers, these 2 remotes make it so that you just feel like you have hands, and it just makes it really natural to interact with the world in front of you once you're in the VR space. Picking up coffee mugs, typing on keyboards, answering the phone, moving the moon might not be so natural, but it feels good once you figure it out. And the last thing I was really concerned about before using the Vive was comfort. You're wearing a pretty heavy headset for 30, 45 minutes, an hour, maybe if you're a crazy gamer, longer than that. But the weight is distributed really well here, and it's not strenuous on your neck at all. And so those are kind of my thoughts on the HTC Vive. This was my first experience using this high end of a VR headset, or the highest end available right now, and I think HTC did a great job, as well as Valve with Steam VR. It's very well thought out. You can clearly see they put a lot of time and effort into the UI. The tutorials are great. Very fluid experience. The only hiccups that we had were really games sort of crashing once or twice, but this is to be expected with such new tech. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you excited about VR? What's your opinion on the VR as a whole, as an industry? Do you think it's going to stick, or is it going to be something like 3D where we see it go in a year or 2 that's just being pushed by companies? Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe to our channel because we're going to be doing a state of VR video pretty soon. More comparisons, all that good stuff that we cannot wait to share with you guys. Thank you so much for watching.